Hey Scrappers, it's Tom from the iScrap app. Today is Wednesday, December 2nd, 2020. Welcome to the last month of 2020. While many of us have said, hey, we want 2020 to be over, we're very happy the way that 2020 ended when you're looking at some of the copper prices, steel prices, catalytic converter prices, and the overall scrap metal market as a whole. Now, we're going to get into some of those things as we were not live last week. We hope that you, your friends and family had a very safe, healthy, and small Thanksgiving. Now, if you have any questions, we'd like to go live every Wednesday after p.m. Eastern Time. So ask the questions as they come about to get you some answers as we go live every Wednesday. If you're not watching this live and you're seeing the one that we recorded afterwards, whether it's on Facebook or YouTube, make sure to comment below and our team will absolutely check out some of those comments, get you some answers if other scrappers don't beat us to it ahead of time. Now, let's just get right down to it. If you have an iPhone, a Droid, download and update the iScrap app. Why? Well, it's a great question that I'm going to answer because we're telling you what's going on with the market. We're giving you push notifications, letting you know that copper is up, steel is up, cats are up, giving you ideas on how to make more money. If you're looking for more intricate, detailed information, you can become a Patreon supporter where those that are Patreon members are getting more notifications pushed to them, and it's even easier, cleaner, and you get much quicker market news. Now let's go over some of the copper prices from the last week, as they certainly have been something to be thankful for. Copper prices bottomed out back in March around $2.10 per pound on the trading level. Today we have trading prices over $3.40 per pound. That is a 60% increase. Now you tell me anything that you want to increase 60% in 10 months time, then you're going to be in really, really good shape. So we've seen these copper prices going up, up, up. And as I wrote in our weekly report, a couple of small things that you're going to see other than a big increase in prices. Scrapyards might not get as aggressive because what do we say all the time? We do not want to have large increases happen quickly. Why? Traders aren't prepared for that. Mills aren't ready to take those things in. And when we have all of those things kind of group themselves together, it makes it a little harder to operate. So those are some of the things that we look for. Now, with the prices reported online, we saw Bear Bright here in Rockaway, New Jersey at Rockaway Recycling, $3 a pound. That's the first time in 4 years that we were able to post prices that high, as we've seen these markets really climb aggressively, but what we like is they haven't had big declines. Some of the reasons are some of the things that we've mentioned over the last few weeks. Electric vehicles. As the new administration's getting ready to come into office, as you hear stocks like Tesla, Nikola, and other electric vehicle manufacturers coming into the market, GM, Ford, Toyota, all of these large manufacturers producing more electric vehicles moving forward, starting to move a lot of the pricing from the gas vehicles to the electric vehicles. One of the big problems is going to be, how do you charge? There are gas stations everywhere. You can pull up your phone, find gas stations really quick, but there are not EVs charging stations. So what is that going to need? A lot of electrical lines run to it. We're going to need to have electrical lines run for new telephone poles, underground utilities, the vehicle charging stations as they are. More copper is going to be needed to build the electric vehicles for the electric motors that are going to be powering the vehicles in the future. So while copper saw a little bit of a downturn the last 3 to 5 years, the uptick that we are seeing is really going to move aggressive in the future because we're going to see such a nice jump in the pricing markets. We're going to see these copper prices stay steady. Yeah, they're going to jump up and down a little bit depending on market news, different strikes at copper mines across the world, COVID vaccinations, countries coming on board, new administrations coming in, into the presidency. So all of these things are going to cause ripple effects, but right now what we're seeing is a positive market trend going upward, and this is the news that we've been waiting for years. We thought the infrastructure that we were going to see throughout the U.S. economy really pop in was going to do it. We remember people talking about the wall being built on the southern border, pumping up steel prices. That didn't do it. We saw tariffs going into effect, which really, quenched a lot of the U.S.'s demand to keep metals here in the country, but it affected some of the overseas prices, so we might see those start to get adjusted. Just think about the last few months. This could not be a better holiday, Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah gift, New Year's gift, Thanksgiving celebration, as all of these things come into fruition. Ready? Let's list them and let's enjoy how thankful we are for each of them. Copper prices are up. Steel prices are up 20 to 30 bucks a ton the last 60 days. Those are really big price jumps, and there's more jumps coming going into December and into January from the news that we've read online. Gold prices, it hit over $2,000. We've kind of leveled ourselves off around $1,800. Platinum, palladium, rhodium prices for the catalytic converter market all up as well. Aluminum prices at multi-year highs. There's nothing here that you should be complaining about. And if you are, shame on you, because that shows that greed is creeping in a little too high. We talk to people all the time about the different prices. When should we sell? When should we sell? Well, we'll sell when you want to sell. We generally get material in and ship material out at our yard in Rockaway, New Jersey. So when people ask us our opinion is, if you have it, sell it. But many of you have saved your copper for many months or years, especially during this pandemic when the market went down back in March and April. Now you got multi-year prices. If you're holding 1,000 pounds of copper, you saw a $1 increase or more for your price, for your materials. That's $1,000 if you had 1,000 pounds. I mean, these are big price increases, and they shouldn't be taken for granted. We know many scrapyards that think the markets are going to go up, and we know many scrapyards that believe that this is a temporary blip with some traders manipulating the market, as there hasn't been oversupplies, there hasn't been large demand for things. There's talks, there's infrastructure talks for the country, there's EV talks, but we have so many trade restrictions right now that we don't really see a real solid news. Oh yeah, copper, we're missing 100,000 tons. It's out there, the material's available, but this price run up, enjoy it, because it might not last forever. It might be here for a couple of weeks, a couple of months, but one thing that we know, it is a great holiday blessing. Let's talk about steel. We've seen oil prices have a very strong increase in the month of November, up about 11%. That caused the steel prices to increase as well, as transportation costs will go up. But what we do see is the demand is starting to build. With the demand starting to build for large projects, whether they're commercial buildings, new bridges, new highways, new infrastructure being put in, these are things that are going to push the steel markets up. One thing that we're going to look for is overseas investments in different iron ore mining operations. That will affect a lot of these markets, as well as some of the tariffs that are already in effect. We're going to see if those are going to affect things, if they're going to be taken off January, February, March of 2021. Those will also be things that we start to look for. Catalytic converters. The team over at rrcats.com is quoting people like no one else is online. Many people have said to us, we just can't find a consistent catalytic converter buyer. Well, your search ends here at rrcats.com. The team is quoting you based off of your pictures, your serial numbers, paying you online, paying you with checks, and giving you really reliable service. If you have questions, you can always go to Rockaway Recycling's website to see some of the reviews for the catalytic converters, and you'll be able to learn more about them. Now, platinum today hit over $1,000 an ounce. Rhodium has remained at record highs, over $15,000 an ounce, and we've seen palladium prices climbing towards $2,400 an ounce. Now, those three numbers might not be three numbers that you track every single day like you might copper or light iron, but the team at RRCats, they absolutely track those numbers. And here are some of the prices that we've seen for some cats over the last week.
Serial number UA3s, $205. B5Cs off of Hyundais, $177. GD3s off of Toyota Priuses, between $650 and $800. EA6s off of Toyota Priuses, between $350 and $500. Now these prices are current, up to date, and very, very strong. So if you're looking to sell your catalytic converters, rrcats.com should be the first stop that you have to learn more about the catalytic converter market, from prices, videos, tutorials, and a basic price list to give you a better idea on what's going on with the markets as a whole. Other news, aluminum has continued to be strong. Sheet aluminum prices have been climbing into the 25 to 35 cent a pound range. Lead has remained relatively stable. Battery prices have started to increase another penny or two per pound, but we did see a very large oversupply of batteries going into the fourth quarter, so that was part of the reason that some of the prices went down. Scrappers, don't forget, every single Wednesday we do our best to have our live edition of our weekly report to let you know what's going on with the markets, share prices, share information, and really push more scrap metal pricing and information to you, the scrapper. Every Wednesday afternoon at 1 p.m. we go live on Facebook. On Sundays you can always check out our weekly reported prices that we post on our YouTube page. And if you're not able to tune in live, of course you can check out Facebook or YouTube for the videos that we record afterwards. Scrappers, this is Tom from the iScrap app. Welcome to December. We hope that you're staying healthy, safe, more importantly, busy out there scrapping. Share your stories with us. We'd love to highlight them in our weekly reports. Until next week, I'll scrap you later.